Hello, Farlanders. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands Are Bust. Woof. This is episode 770. Oh, hello. 770 of Farlands Are Bust. As the creepers are out in the desert here today, as we're continuing west towards those Farlands here in Minecraft Beta 173. Bloop and bloop. And we are continuing west, like I said. This episode coming out on Wednesday, February 5th, 2020. And being recorded live. Ooh, skeleton residue. Yoink. Being recorded live on Twitch. As we've been doing. Oops, I got all turned around there. Ooh, that was weird. We're raising money for PAWS, the Progressive Animal Welfare Society here in the Seattle area. It's where I adopted Juno from. But they also obviously do a lot more work rescuing dogs and cats, as well as injured or orphaned wild animals. What's the word I'm looking for? Resuscitating is the wrong word. Reintroducing them into the wild and whatnot. No relation to Pause Unpause because it's spelled P-A-W-S. Progressive Animal Welfare Society. Over at farlandsorbust.com is where you can donate. And we're up to $613 raised so far since we introduced this charity fundraiser. Thank you to everybody who has donated, as well as with your donations, asked questions to give me things to talk about on this long journey in this big world known as Farlands Are Bust in Minecraft. How'd you get wet? Yeah. We don't. Indeed. Not much, had a weekend. A weekend was had here the first weekend of February. After January finally ended, it felt like it went till January 57th, didn't it? Is that just me? I feel like everybody thought January was like, ooh, this has been quite a year. It's only January. So yeah, here we are in February. And at the end of February, I am once again, it's been 3 years, but I'm once again going to be relocating my posterior to a different abode. Only like an hour away from where I'm currently at, so not super far, not cross country or cross time zones as I have the past 2 times. But yeah, that's actually already underway. It's so convenient to have like a place where you can just slowly start moving your stuff instead of being like, well, you got a new lease. It starts on this date and your old lease expires 2 days later. Gotta do it all at once. Freak out. Everything must go in everywhere all at once. So I feel #blessed. We have a lot of sheep. A lot of loud sheep. #blessed to be able to just fill my Subaru every weekend, drive down, drop stuff off, drive back. Very nice. Very nice. I was just saying to the chat here that I have a lot of books. Books are heavy to move. Never fill a box just full of books, because you'll never be able to lift it. It's the weight of all the knowledge that are contained within. But I have a lot of books, despite not reading any of those books, which is a bit of a paradox, don't you think? But yeah, that's beside the point. That's getting a move on, and hopefully shouldn't be too much of an outage of content, whether or not you watch just Flob or you check out my streams or anything. Should remain pretty consistent. Perhaps maybe the final week of February might be a little bit sparse, because that's when the actual move will be completed, and I'll have to set everything back up and get the old place clean so I can hopefully get all my security deposits back. Whoops. And all that fun stuff. Yeah, I am also waiting for a good weather day, which is extraordinarily rare here in the Seattle area. This past month, I've been seeing stories about it being like, despite being Seattle in the Pacific Northwest, and yes, it always rains, just the longest stretches of no sun, whether or not it's overcast or drizzly, rainy, or whatever. Some of the longest stretches have been in like the past month of gloomy weather. And today it's snowing. So I'm waiting for like a good day where I can drive the Corolla, because that's going to be like a 2-hour drive because I stay off the highways to relocate the Corolla, so I don't have to have it like towed or something. I'm going to jinx it by saying this, but next weekend it's at least supposedly going to be sunny and like 40s, as long as it's not also wet and icy or anything like that. I think it should be good. But having said that, I just jinxed it. And yes, there is a covered, secure garage space for the Corolla at the new place. Probably not for the Crosstrek, though, once again. But that's fine. It already lives outside. It's fine. It's a Subaru. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Indeed. So yeah, that's going on. That's some life stuff. Life stuff. It's in the game. Woof. Speaking of life stuff, I got a lot of life questions here from donors to pause charity. Let's pick up some blanks while we're at it, I suppose. This one from Tyler. Thank you, Tyler, for your donation. Tyler asks, very topically about moving house and stuff. I don't know if they intended this or not, but Tyler asked, do you ever have to deal with homesickness? If so, how do you deal with it? I guess I don't, because I haven't had like a specified home in the last 5 years, between being here for 3 years and Phoenix for 2, and then previously having condo in Chicago area. You know, I've not settled in a space for an extreme amount of time. Do I feel homesickness for like home, like my dad's house where I grew up, went to school and stuff like that? No. No, I do not. A lot of those memories I didn't enjoy being a kid or a teenager or a young adult. So I don't have any sort of nostalgic fondness for those times or places either. Part of which is why moving out of those areas wasn't, I wouldn't say it was a need or a priority, but it was an easier choice to make without such personal attachments to the area. So yeah, homesickness? I suppose if I'm like traveling, like I was away for almost a week for the Mindcrack Marathon. Of course, yes, it was back in Chicago. But I suppose I start to miss the conveniences and the comforts that I've set up for myself here in the home where all my stuff is and where I live and where Juno is and the girlfriend and everything. But I don't know if it's... I guess I don't know how to define homesickness. It must be one of those concepts in these novelizations, these stories in these books I never read. I don't really need any more wool, but that concept is foreign to me, my friend. Tyler also asked, you don't like picking favorites, but surely, don't call me Shirley, you must have a favorite color. I don't know that I do. I don't know that I do. A great majority of my clothing is blue, navy blue, denim blue. I just think blue looks good. Like a dark blue looks good in general and on me, and it's easy to match with stuff. My car, the Crosstrek is blue. The Corolla is bright yellow. The Farlands or Bust colors include a dark blue and an orange. Those are complementary. Art! So yeah, no, I don't know that I have like a specific favorite that I could say specifically. So I would definitely not be allowed to cross the bridge because I would change my mind midway through and get yeeted into the canyon. That's a Monty Python reference. All right, let's go to sleep. And awakeness. Woof. Thank you, Tyler. Enion is back with another question. You might have heard earlier. What made you change your intro from "Hello, ladies and gentlemen" to "Hello, Farlanders"? Farlanders is very logical, but it sounds short when I have heard the other intro for several years, which has more syllables. Yeah, I switched it. It was kind of a conscious decision. I myself wanted to change a while ago, but I kept accidentally just falling back on the you know, what I was used to, what the sort of autopilot, those syllables. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know why I started saying that in my video intros. It wasn't really unique. I'm definitely not the only YouTuber to have and to start my videos with "Hello, ladies and gentlemen." I think I probably at some point increased the "hello," but beyond that, yeah, I really had no specific affinity to it. I think I've also realized that yes, those who do watch, I made it. Those who do watch Farlands or Bust specifically usually only watch Farlands or Bust. So I feel like directing these episodes, podcasts, whatever, at Farlanders specifically. You know, as opposed to, say, the Subtub, or I don't know what else I could call. Hey, come back here. You know, with different audiences for Ranwin Parked and stuff like that. So yeah, it felt, it's branding. Hashtag branding. My brand is really what that is. And yes, true. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, does in this modern time, it is kind of selective and old-fashioned. Not that there's anything specifically wrong with anybody else who uses that, but just kind of a conscious decision I made more about realizing that Farlands or Bust has a specific audience amongst everything else. But yeah, I'm sure eventually it will sound more natural than ladies and gentlemen. Alan Zero. That's a name I've not heard in a long time. No, that's a speaking of Farlanders, that's a long time Farlander. That would make sense. That would make sense. No, Alan Zero. I feel like Alan Zero did something for us. Like an art or a texture pack or something. I'm thinking of Axis 1 is who I'm thinking of. Did the Farlands or Bust texture pack that I'm using. Anyway. Meanwhile, Alan is here like, what? I don't know. This is my first time watching and doing it. Anyway, they ask, I'd like to hear a bit about your present-day thoughts on fashion and your own sense of style, and how your own sense of style has evolved. You used to talk about wanting to dress more like an adult and dressing well, with references to Put This On, for instance. I still follow Put This On, although it's not. It used to be like they had like YouTube show and like podcast and stuff, but it's more just like a website now, a blog, if you will. You've recently mentioned you're not as into following fashion blogs or such things anymore. Do you feel more confident in your own fashion sense nowadays? I don't know about confident, but certainly comfortable. I certainly feel more comfortable. That's both in what I've kind of chosen to wear. I've defaulted back into the jeans and t-shirts, hoodie. It's kind of a Seattle, a Seattle, what do I want to call, uniform, I guess. But I think also it tapered off living in Phoenix, because in Phoenix, you're pretty much the majority of the year stuck with shorts and a t-shirt due to the overwhelming oppression of the heat and sun and the burning. So yeah, that's a city that would be hard to quote unquote dress more adult. I've also adjusted my concept of adult, I think. Because I'm not young. I'm at the age when I was like a teenager or younger. I thought, oh, that's old. It's a little bit hard to grasp, since I am still, this is my job, this is my work, so it definitely does have a bit of a youthly orientated both audience and just market, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, I still own what I would call nice clothes. I bought a suit a couple years ago. That's from like Brooks Brothers, and I got it nicely tailored. I do have a jacket, a blazer that I need to get tailored that I want to take to the same place I found because they were actually quite good. It's hard to find a tailor like that does men's clothes. Normally you go to a place and they do like dress alterations and things like that, but this person actually knew what they were doing. And I own like a pair of what's the brand? Alan Edmonds dress shoes. So I like have retained that information and know what's a good brand and what isn't, and what's quality and what's not. But I've also realized I don't need that sort of stuff. There's no need for me, either professionally or casually, to be overwhelmed with that. And I might have gone a little bit nuts with it to begin with. And I've since sold a lot of the really fancy stuff for niche stuff that I had. I sold them on eBay or whatever, just to like, I don't need these boots, or I don't need this sweater, so I sold a lot of stuff. Speaking of moving and getting rid of things you don't need. But yeah, no, I still like appreciate, like the thing I learned from that is like appreciating quality over quantity. And also being with selling stuff on eBay is like, oh, you don't have to buy brand new stuff. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. But also, like, yeah, most of the time, a t-shirt, a shirt, and a hoodie, and jeans. That works. That works well indeed. So yeah, I can certainly appreciate the stuff still, and I still follow, like I said, Put This On and a few other things. I think just in general, that's also kind of died down on the internet as well. It kind of, the hashtag menswear communities and whatnot have kind of, they peaked in the middle aughts or so, and things like the recession and I've read a bunch of articles, some of them being on Put This On, the association of these nice clothes with wealth and, the icky feeling that comes with, being associated, even if you're not yourself, like a wealthy person, that sort of thing. And also, certain groups, let's call them Nazis, yeah, really picked up on that sort of dapper look that they so called or whatever that they've been called in articles and things. But then they got punched, so that's better. So, but yeah, that I think that is, I was definitely out of it well before that even was a reason or anything like that. But yeah, it's also money. I've shifted to spending money on obscure Japanese car parts and cars in general, and other hobbies, and perhaps just trying to save and whatever. And dogs, pets, aminals. Hiking aesthetic. I gotta get more outdoorsy clothes. I'm looking for a pair of waterproof pants. Because I'd like to go hiking, and I'd like to not be restricted to waiting for the rain to stop. I got a good rain jackets. I got good waterproof boots. Even got some waterproof gloves. I need some waterproof pants, or even overpants. Pants you put over your hiking pants that are waterproof. Can't find them. I mean, the only ones that I've tended to find are like for skiing or whatever. I just need light pants. They're waterproof and not $100. I'm asking for suggestions, is what I'm saying. Everybody look at your pants. Everybody's waterproof pants. All right, let's go to sleep. And continue in the morning. I don't know that I can go to sleep. I think the moon has to show itself. Okay, I think we can do it now. Yeah! And awakeness. And I need a boatness. Woof! Whoa, hello. Alright, don't get punched. Ha! Oh, he's gonna push my boat. Yep! You dingy? You pushed my dinghy. Justin Rex asked with their donation. What perplexes you? Perplexes me. This question. What perplexes me? I'm trying to think of like something minuscule and specific as opposed to like the world as a whole. What perplexes me? Right now, I'm gonna say math. The girlfriend is taking some classes, trying to get a different degree, and is going through math. And a lot I'm not really able to help, but the things she does show me are very perplexing. It's frustrating to have those like as prerequisites, specifically if you know what you want to do and want to go for, but to get a degree you got to go through that. And I don't even remember that was, I don't even remember, like I didn't ever take, which is surprising to a lot of people, through high school or college. I never took any statistics, calculus. I don't even know what calculus is. Trigonometry. Never took any of those. I went the bare basic minimum I possibly could, and then ejected and forgot everything. Like, I did what I needed to do to get a passing grade, which might have been a C at best, and then just Control-Alt deleted that from my brain place. Ah, careful, Wolfie. I think it's, like, I kind of get how it's not necessarily about the math, it's about the language of math that they're trying to teach you, so it is almost like a language class more so than it is like a science or a applicable life skill. So yes, I get that. It may be a bit misplaced in my personal opinion, the need for that sort of way of thinking. Yeah, but the excuse is that, oh, it teaches you a way of thinking, a way of problem solving. But like she was doing something last night. What was it? They were like equations, factoring, factor out this equation completely. And then the answer is just another equation. It's not like I need a solution. Like, what am I trying to find out by doing this? But it just ends up creating a different looking equation that supposedly means the same thing. And there's all these rules and all these conversions that, oh, -1 this, and then reverse the polarity, and then factor out the bigger number. And if it can be factored, a lot of times it can't be, then that plus that equals this. And I like that part of it, I don't get. And she similarly has a similar brain to me, is like, what is this applicable for? So it's almost like puzzles. Like the people who write the math problems and equations and solutions are like, here's this puzzle I created for you. It will be ever so perplexing for you to figure out. Please try. So yeah, it's that perplexes me. It perplexes me. I understand why it's there. Not as much as I understand gym class, but I understand why it's there. But I definitely feel like it's more applicable to like grade school students and high school, you know, when you're trying to develop people's way of thinking and problem solving, maybe, and following rules, and I don't know. And perhaps it might apply to various physics or other applications, chemistry or whatever. But as far as like an adult my age, I think we're kind of beyond that. I think we can just call a mulligan and be like, all right, like, you've survived this long. I think we can move on to other things. Which might also be why I did bad at the foreign language. It's a similar concept. Translating these puzzles, whether it be a sentence structure or numbers and variables, into something you can understand in that language. So yeah, I don't know. That perplexes me. That's an answer that I have right now. Carburetors perplex me. They are magic and wizardry, and you just cross your fingers and hope they work. And if they don't, you just replace it. As both Cone and I know, you just completely just chuck it in the bin and replace it. Indeed. What do we got? A little bit less than half a day here. All the animals disappeared. We did have a bunch of sheeps earlier, but no more. Yvette, thank you for your donation and question. Since you've been, quote-unquote, playing Farming Simulator, what crop or animal would you farm in real life? Not wheat or barley or rye, gluten. Maybe when I'm old, I'll have a small hobby farm with goats and chickens. I mean, speaking of Seattle, people have goats and chickens in their backyards. I don't know. I've never seen myself as in a farming situation. Like, I suppose the thing I like about it is the solitude and the tracts of land. I feel like animals would be difficult. more difficult than just plants, right? Like having to feed them, keep them warm, and remove their poop, smell their poop all the time. And then, like, deciding on what you're going to do with them. Do you just want their byproducts, their milk and eggs or whatever? Or do you want to murder them in cold, murderous blood for their meats? Yeah, I don't know about animals. Animals would be a tough sell. Unless it's something obscure like... Here's a bunch of giant tortoises. Why not a herd of orangutans? I don't know. I'm trying to think of, like, obscure animals that probably don't want to farm, quote unquote. Plant. I think I would be more into, like, I don't know if it's technically a farm or not. That's more of like a... I'm thinking of more like a... what are those things called for non-useful plants, for decorative plants? A nursery? Not even a nursery. Can you farm, like, sunflowers? I'm sure you can. Because sunflower seeds are a product. I don't know. I want something that's aesthetically pleasing. Raccoons, yes, raccoons. Don't gotta worry about garbage takeout. So yeah, I don't know. That's a real, that's not one I've ever thought of. I'll farm cars. That's a junkyard, Kurt, but farming fields of automobiles. There, that's my answer. I've done it! I've done it, everybody. I've answered that question unequivocally. I don't know what an unequivocal is. Because I'm bad at math, and that sounds like a math term, even though I don't think it is at all. Gaggle of snakes. A murder of crows. Oops. A boondoggle of... scorpions. Yeah, indeed. Well, thank you, everybody, for donating to our charity fundraiser. Pause over at farlandsorbust.com. Keep doing that. Keep asking questions, and I'll certainly find ways to avoid answering them, as I have. Specifically for the farm thing today. Yeah, that's much appreciated indeed. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Episode 770 of the series. Like, follow, and subscribe. And yeah, thank you so much. I will see you next time. Here's this puzzle I created for you. It will be ever so perplexing for you to figure out. Please try.